The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
One of our most memorable quotes from Nyeri region last year was, "Debate is the game, keep the rhythm if you can." And that's exactly what we're back here to do. Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. I am Mariam Bashar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. We have General China versus Mweiga High School, and their motion is child molesters should be rehabilitated rather than face imprisonment. Mariam, what do you think?
I think it's too controversial a topic to start now. We'll let the debaters take the stage. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
For every great tragedy forms a fertile soil for great recovery, only if the seed is planted. With me here, I have the Bible, the Revised Standard Version Bible. What does it say? In 1 Peter 3 verse 9, Jesus says very well, "Do not repay evil with evil." Brian Mushiri, Mweiga High School, ready to propose the motion that says child molesters should be taken to rehabilitation rather than face imprisonment. Before you take this person to prison, did you first think the reason as to why he did that? Did you think that this person could be suffering from pedophilia? You ask me what is pedophilia, and I'll tell you. Pedophilia is a state of mind where the person is sexually attracted to the child. That shows that this person does not want to become attracted to the child, but it's a mind condition. Taking this person to the prison will be just an act of injustice. This person should be taken to the rehabilitation facilities, where this person will be given all necessities so that he can be accepted back into the society. Why should we take him to the rehabilitation? This person is able to have the outpatient services. These outpatient services help this person to get back to the society. The society will face this person as someone who is changed from the rehabilitation. But taking him to the prison, what does this do? This person will be rejected by the society. That means when he gets back, these people will see him as someone who is bad. And therefore, this person will have that mentality that he'll do all he can to ensure these people get what he got in prison. And what will he do? He'll say, "My motion to molest 1,001 kids." But that's not what we want. We want reform. Reform, reform. That's what we want. Not destroying a life to save another. 1:1 ratio doesn't apply. We have to save both lives. How? By reforming this person in the rehabilitation. Not just taking this person to prison where all he does is working out, meeting with people who have robbed banks, they have done all kinds of crimes, and show him that he can do better than that. We need a society where people, not all people in the society are taken to the prison. There's no society there. A society is where a person does something wrong and is reformed. Reform, reform, reform. Not about just punishment. Where's his punishment? What do you do? You just make the person harder, not helping him. We need reform, reform, reform. We have an example from the ABC News. From America, we have a Roman priest, John Jogan. He was killed because of being a pedophile in prison. Rather, he could have been taken to rehab and be helped. I rest my case.
Opposition will hear your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, the judges and the House at large. I am Geoffrey Kenga, representing the Generals of China. I'm here to oppose the motion that says child molesters should be rehabilitated rather than imprisoned. First, what do we understand by child molesters? These are people who mistreat children, either physically, mentally, or psychologically. What is to imprison? This is taking an immoral person to a correctional institution to punish, fine, and correct that person. What about to rehabilitate? What is that? This is the act of guiding and counseling. a person so that he may come back to his normal senses, to his normal self. Okay, my first argument is that by imprisoning this more immoral person, by imprisoning this child molester, it brings satisfaction to the society. We all know the African society, how it goes. They believe in right. When you take this person to a rehabilitation institution, this person will be taken there and then freed. The society will see this as letting that person free. It's like forgetting what that person has done to that child. My second argument is that when you take this person, this child molester, to a rehabilitational institution, we all know that when that person is taken there, we don't have a system of evaluating if this person is changed or not. So it is better to take this person to the prison, to imprison this person, since you will be removing that person out of the society and saving other children from the risk of being molested. My other argument is that it instills fear by imprisoning the child molester. It instills fear to other molesters who might be coming up, or who might be molesting, who might be among the molesters. When you take this person to prison, others will fear continuing the act of molesting. My other argument is that this child molester might be one among the people who are used to in the rehabilitational institutions. So this might be among the people who are used to counsel and guide, other people to return them to their normal status. So it would be better. It would be better to imprison this person, since you don't know if you take that person to prison, to the rehabilitation institution, if you will meet another person who is worse than him and maybe destroy him further.
We'll now hear rebuttals, beginning with a proposition. You have 3 minutes.
2 wrongs don't make a right. And I repeat, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Mui huwa mwema. These are not words from I, Mary Kehia, Mweiga High School. They are words from wise men who wanted to instill change in our society. Rehabilitate is take someone to an institution to make him better from bad. So, what I'm trying to say is we are making these people better from their bad state. Let me oppose you and say that, ask you this question, what assurance do we have that when they go to prison, they become good? Can you please give examples? What do you say about jail bans? Don't we have celebrations every now and then, day in, day out? Celebrations of people who come out of prison. Don't they act as models of wrongdoing? Let me remind you a quote from James Gillan, a successful professor at New York University, who stated that if we have all our institutions as incompetent and unsuccessful as we have our prisons, the next thing we realize is that we're gonna close them down by the end of tomorrow. Bandili was also a professor. He came up with an institution that helped the offenders to reform, a counseling institution that helped 83 of the offenders to reform. Can someone hear that? 83 of the offenders reformed. In the rehab centers, we have group therapy. Someone asked, what is group therapy? Group therapy is a place where in rehabs we have people of this, like the offenders we're dealing with are child molesters. when they go to the rehabilitation centers, they meet people of their same caliber. They find people who have done the same mistakes, some people who have offended people the same way. So what they share their problems, and what the mouth speaketh is the bountiful of the heart. Let me give this example. We have a roof that is leaking. We take a basin and put it under the roof. Does that mean we have solved the problem? No, we are running away from the problem. It's only a mad person, it's only a fool that does the same thing and expects different results. What I'm stressing is reform, reform, reform. It is done. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to cross-examine the proposers.
Thank you very much. And first and foremost, I would like to answer the question she has just posed before taking her seat. I would like to answer you by telling you that even in the rehabilitation centers, these people normally fake the people there. What do I mean? I mean by saying this. Just as the first speaker defined the word rehabilitation, and in that rehabilitation center, there is no any means or any evaluation system that we are going to use, whether to know if the person being rehabilitated has changed or not. Okay, I'm here to oppose the motion. Child molesters should be rehabilitated rather than being imprisoned. An idle mind is a devil workshop, and we all understand on that. I want to oppose by saying that maybe the molester did that act out of idleness. What do I mean? If this person is imprisoned and we consider the kind of molesting he did, if this person is imprisoned, he is going to learn some technical, basic, and practical skills like carpentry, masonry, welding, and the stuff. So these ones are going to enable him, when he finishes his prison term, to go back home, to enable him, to keep him busy, to reduce him having that chance of molesting other children's rights that might be there in the society. Secondly, we are all gathered, or we live under the Constitution of Kenya promulgated in the year 2010. So when you imprison, when you rehabilitate this person, it's like you are violating the Constitution. So what do you need? Imprisonment upholds the laws of the country. So if an offender is rehabilitated, this will be violating the laws of the country. It is clearly outlined in the Constitution of Kenya that any person messing around with the rights of the child should face the consequences and punishment to the law. So taking a person to a rehabilitation center, I think it's just like going and talk to him and bring back at home.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The proposers have been asked if they are suggesting that prisons have failed in one of their roles, which is to rehabilitate, and the opposition have been asked if we take child molesters to prison to maintain peace and order in society, what happens when they get out of prison? We'll have them respond. That proposer, you have 3 minutes.
the question from a friend over there. The prisons are made on the basis that the person committed the crime out of relation or choice and out of his willingness. But if jails are really working, then why are the cases of child molestation increasing every day after the other? Why don't we just trying to deal with the source of the problem other than just trying to wash water, and we are not, other than just trying to put a basin at a leaking roof other than trying to mend the roof? I talk about rehabilitation, and I say that not all child molesters are jobless. And in rehabilitation, we don't just talk, but they undergo emotional healing, and so they are not likely to go back and reoffend because you have dealt with the source of the problem. I take a quote from Margaret Ogora in her book, The River and the Source. Every river has its own source. The cause of this person committing this crime is from his heart and from his mind. And that is why I'm proposing we rehabilitate him so that he can undergo emotional healing, so that he can change his mind, so that he can change his way of thinking, and so he will never reoffend again. But when we take this person to prison, surely we are not dealing with the source of the problem. And again, let's not judge according to our bitterness, but take fact. Not all things that are lawful are light. Yes, I agree we are bitter to this child molester, but let us not judge him according to our bitterness. Let's take the facts. This person is maybe suffering from pedophilia, and so we judge him from the fact and not our emotion. When we start doing that, are we really doing right? We are not going to throw these people away. We still need them in the society as reformist examples. And that is why I say reform, reform, reform. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I'm Job Gashiri representing Generai China, and I'm here to strongly oppose the motion that says that child molesters should be rehabilitated rather than imprisoned. I would first like to answer the question from one of the audience that asked that if a molester is imprisoned, that the molester is imprisoned so that there can be peace in the society. And you asked, what about when the molester comes back? If the molester is imprisoned, one of the things that is there in prison, there is something called punishment. If you undergo punishment, even at school, that punishment is not there to instill pain on you. It is there to help you change and become a more better person, and not go back into the acts that you had done before. If you had been caught in noise making, you won't do that again. You always remember the punishment that you underwent. I would like to oppose by giving this point that the molester may take the advantage of being rehabilitated, because if, for example, the molester goes to the rehabilitation center and then back home, this molester, without any punishment, without any fine, or without the consequences of the law, this molester will just feel like if when I went to the rehabilitation center, there was no severe punishment, so even if I do the act again, I'll just be rehabilitated, and I'll have no punishment to go through, and I'll have no fine to have. Also, when justice is offered, the molested will uphold their self-esteem. This because the one who was molested, the victim, will feel that justice has been given unto the molester. And so he or she, the child who is molested, will have the self-esteem, and will even gain confidence in herself. And the child molested will always know that the law has protected him or her. I will ask
a question to the proposers, that you say that justice to the molested child, if one is taken to prison, that there is no justice. You say that if one is taken to prison, he or she will come out of the prison and could become to revenge. Must it happen? Thank you.
Closing statements now. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
It's ironical, rather satirical, that this same person who is saying that this person who should be taken to prison to face punishment, to instill pain, then the same person comes and says that there is no pain instilled in him. Let me ask you a question to answer your question. When you said that you take this person to prison, he comes out well. Can you give facts that will show that the number of people who had molested children came out as good people? We have jailbirds who come out and are very happy. But you have never had a case of child molesters who come out and are so remorseful. They are so proud of what they did and want to do more. You cannot take a hen, cut it, slaughter it, and then expect the other half to give you eggs. We've never heard of that, have we? No means silence. Let me ask you a question as I end. Do you want a situation where these people are a threat to the community after prison, or we want a situation where these people are in good terms with the society? I rest my case.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
I'll first start with correcting my opponents on my right hand. In the first place, you said about the Bible. The Bible teaches us that we should not do a tit-for-tat game. In the same Bible, we are told about the story about Moses. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. There's nothing about rehabilitation in the 10 Commandments. It is you go against the commandments and you're punished. Secondly, look at it in this way. A molester will take advantage, since they know that even if I molest, I will not be punished. I will not be taken to jail. It is just a rehabilitation, then I'm out. So with these arguments that we have, I'd just like to humbly request my opponents, please join us and oppose with us. Because realistically, someone cannot molest a child, then let him go free just like that. That is not even godly.
Mweiga High School. I have a couple of questions. Number one, if you're talking about rehabilitation, the question is why rehabilitation, why not imprisonment? Number two, are the two separable? If the answer is yes, then the next question is there no rehabilitation inside prison cells, or is there rehabilitation? There are a number of questions that you did not answer, which I wanted you to really to answer. You know, when you talk about child molestation, first of all, is it a problem? According to you, I don't see it. I've not seen a problem that there is nothing like child molestation in Kenya or all over the world. Because if it was there, then I wanted to see the statistics. Maybe there is percentage of child molestation in Kenya stands at this, and therefore we need quick measures to correct these particular things, which was not forthcoming. I don't feel that there is a problem of child molestation in Kenya or in the world, and therefore we were debating, looking for a solution to a problem that is not there.
General China, Geoffrey, and I think you were a very good speaker, and you led your team very well as the first speaker as well, and even at the end. And good start for the team. Your submissions were also fairly well done, but I thought maybe building a case would have been better. Maybe talking about someone who had to be imprisoned, and in prison went through recollection or anything else, and then maybe after that came out better. That would have been better if you built a case. Vincent, you know, it was quite monotonous. I think you would have picked up from Geoffrey, who had already set up a pace, okay? So you wanted to also exercise more so that you speak up from that. Job, Well, you can as well improve on your delivery, the style, okay? You had good submissions as well. But when you talked about punishments and highlighting punishments, I was expecting you to tell us, for example, what punishments happen in prison, okay? I was trying to fill up for myself. Maybe people get beaten up there or something.
Those that were advocating for rehabilitation should actually have looked at the pros of actually having, taking some of these people to a rehabilitation centers. The fact that, there is a community around you, that you can share your problems, there's counseling, and an opportunity for people to rebuild their lives. Those essentially are reasons why people would actually advocate for rehabilitation. One of the things that I was hoping to hear, particularly from the opposers of this motion, when we do not have this person locked behind bars, and we have seen several instances, particularly in the news, about, child molesters, if you took an emotional angle and helped us see this through the eyes of a particular case, then you could have convinced us that, yes, imprisonment would be the best way to go, rather than still allowing this person to work with the community through rehabilitation.
Mweiga High. From the debate, you managed to garner 58%. Please give them a round of applause. General China High School, you were awarded 60%. You are our winners for the debate.
Thank you to the 6 debaters on stage. And of course, thank you to the audience for tuning in and watching us. Remember to give us your feedback on Twitter at Great Debaters EA and on Facebook, Great Debaters Contest. Thank you for watching. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.